Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel Java Guru Ravi, and today we are going to continue with the stream API, in which in the last lecture we had discussed the distinct method, sorted method, filter method and for each method. So now today we are going to perform the same operations with the objects. Last time we had taken the primitive data types that are integers, but this time I am taking the class employee. If you see here, we have created a class employee, and every employee is having two attributes here. One is name and second one is salary. So I have provided a constructor here. The constructor is simply initializing the values of name and salary to the given parameters. Now suppose you are having one array list of employee type, and in this array list we are adding certain set of employees. So I have added here 5 employees. Now the task is the same thing I want to do. Let's say you are said that okay, print all the employees or print the name of all the employees, print the names of all the employees whose salary is less than 80, whose salary is less than 80 in the sorted order of their names. So you have to print the names of all the employees whose salary is less than 80, but they must be printed in the sorted order of their names. So this thing can be implemented in two ways. One is using the map method is there. Second one is directly using the stream API and without using the map also. So let us try this in both the ways. So first of all, I will create a stream. So I am simply writing here stream, and this time my stream is going to be of employee type. So I am creating this stream using the stream method. So stream is created. Now from this stream, what I am saying is, let me call the method. First of all, what we have to do is print all the names of employees whose salary is less than 80. It means you have to filter out. So I will call the filter method here only. So from a stream I am calling the filter method, which is an intermediate method. So we will automatically get the another stream because it is intermediate method and it will generate a new stream. So filtering, what you want to filter? Here input is an employee object. Earlier we were having integer, so we can directly perform the operation on the integer, but this time we are having the employee objects. So we are not directly going to apply the operation on employee object. What I am getting here is let's E is the employee object. So what I am going to do here is I am going to simply take its salary. So if E is the input, so I am concerned about E dot salary, because E dot salary will represent the salary attribute of the employee, and my condition is salary is less than 80. It means I will write here E dot salary is less than 80. So if you see this lambda here, so this lambda says ki okay, your input is going to be one employee object because the stream is of employee type. So I am saying ki okay, if E is my input, it means E is the employee object. Employee object is the input, so I am not going to directly compare E, but I am going to compare the salary of E. So E dot salary is less than 80. All the employees who will satisfy this condition will be remaining in the stream and others will be filtered out. So this will give me all the employees whose salary is less than 80. Right? Now I have to perform sorted order of their names. So if you don't want to apply the map, so we will directly call the sorted method here. Last class we have talked about the sorted method. But this sorted method cannot be directly applied because employee is not comparable. If you will try to compile this code, it will give you error because employee is not comparable. So let us save this code and try to compile this. Java C stream demo.java, Java stream demo. Okay, I am not printing anything, so let me print it. So we'll apply the forEach str dot forEach, and here I am going to say if E is my input, so I am going to print system.out.println E dot name and E dot salary. So you can see here you are getting an error. Java.lang.class cast exception, employee cannot be casted to java.lang.comparable. That's why I told you the sorted method will be comparing or sorting only when the objects are comparable. So earlier we had taken the integer, so integers were comparable. Sorry. But this employee class is a user defined class and it is not comparable. So either you implement comparable here or you can use the overloaded version of the sorted method, which says ki give me the sorting logic in the form of comparator. So I am going to give the comparator. Earlier we had given the descending order logic of integers using the comparator. So here I am saying okay, if x and y are the two employee objects, so how I am going to compare? How I am going to compare here? Mind it, x and y are the two employee objects. So what I am going to compare here? So it is said in the question that you have to sort based on their names. It means I will compare x dot name and y dot name. And the important point here is that x dot name is a string. So string is already providing you a comparison method, that is compare to. Right, string class is providing you the method. So I'll simply write here x dot name, which is a string. It can be compared because string is comparable. So I'll be writing x dot name dot, I'll put it here in the new line. So I'm saying x dot name dot compare to y dot name. Right, I can write this because x dot name is a string, and for comparing the string the method is existing, that is compare to. Right, so I can write it here. If you have to make a descending order, you can write y dot name dot compare to x dot name. Fine. So now you will be getting the result in the sorted order. Let me compile this. So we'll see here. Again it is giving the error. Have we saved this code? Yes. So you can see here now it is sorted Ajay, Mandeep and Ravi. This is sorted order based on the names, and all the employees are having salary less than 80. Right. Similarly, if I have to sort it based on the, let's say, salary, so I would have written here xy, but this time xy, x is not going to compare, we'll compare x dot salary with y dot salary. So can I write here x dot salary dot compare to y dot salary? The answer is no, because salary is int and int is not integer. If you make it here integer, then it is comparable. So what I can write here is, we will come back to our own logic. There I told you in the previous video that you will simply compare the salary as an int value using the concept that first parameter is greater, so return 1 will give you ascending order. So I am going to write the same thing. if x dot salary is greater than y dot salary, then return 1, else return -1. So this is the concept which gives you the ascending order. Fine. X dot salary is greater than y dot salary means first parameter is greater than the second parameter, then you are returning 1, it means ascending order. So compile it, run it, you are getting the result, all three employees, but this time they are sorted based on the salary. Fine. So this is how you can simply deal with the objects instead of primitive types. Distinct method, sorted method, filter method, all you can use. The same thing we can do using the map also. Right? If you have been asked, okay, print all the names of all the employees whose salary less than 80 in the sorted order of their names. So what I can do here is, I will be first of all creating a stream, then I will filter all the employees, E dot salary less than 80, then I can map. So there is a map method. Map method says that you can convert one type of object to some other type. Mapping, right? So currently I am having the employee objects, but I am not interested in the employee object itself. I want to fetch its names only, right? We want to map an employee object to the names only, means employee to string conversion. So map method simply says that you need to pass a function. Function says one input of some type T, the return value will be some other type. Let's say type T will be converted to type U. So map is allowing you, okay, give one parameter, one input and give some other output. So that's what I am saying is that in the map I will say I have to pass function. The function I am saying emp is my input. So what I have to convert it, I will be saying emp dot name. So this function simply says that if employee or emp object is your input, so the return value will be its names. Return value will be name. Emp will be transformed to emp name. So it means after calling this map method, you will get a stream of string type. Earlier you have the stream of employee type, but after conversion, after this mapping, you will get the stream of string type. So if you try to compile this one, it will give you error. And let me make it comment also. It will say the stream is not of employee type, it is of string type. So incompatible types may be there. So it is saying incompatible types. Inference variable R has incompatible bounds. So I have to write here that okay, now the final result is of string type. So I will write here okay, now I am having the stream of string type because we have converted all the employees into their names only. Now compiled, but we will not get output. Now I am going to take the output. So we are getting all the employees. So I have to print only their names in the sorted order. So after mapping you got only the strings, then you can call the sorted method. So sorted method now can be applied directly on the strings because string is comparable. So directly it is sorting in the ascending order, and then I have to simply print them. So if n is the input, means name is the input, so I have to simply print it. I need not to convert or access any other thing. So if n is the value, so I am just going to print it because now we have only the names in the stream, right? So let us compile this. So you will compile it and you will get the result. Yes, so Ajay, Mandeep and Ravi, these are the employees name. But yes, we have converted into these names of string type stream, so we cannot print now the salary. Fine. Fine. So this is the use of map. Map is simply converting one type of object to some other type. This can be also used, let's say you are said ki, okay, you have some array list of integers and now you have to find the sum of square roots, yeah, sum of squares. So first of all you convert integer into its square. So mapping will be done from x to x square, then you will perform the summation. So this is how mapping can be done from one type of object to some other type, or from one type of object fetch some value, or from one type of object do some manipulation over there. So map can be used in this way. Fine. Then there are certain more methods. First one we can call it is min and max. These are the terminal methods. Min and max methods are saying ki, okay, we will give you the smallest element and the largest element. As the name suggests, min will give you the smallest element, max will give you the largest element. Fine. But what is the concept behind the min? Min says that if you arrange in the ascending order, min simply says ki you will, min is going to sort the objects in the ascending order. Then min function is giving you the first element, and max function is going ki, okay, will give you the last element. This is the basic logic. If you use min method or max method, so it is going to arrange the objects in the sorted order, and min is going to give you the first element and max will give you the last element. But suppose I have sorted in the descending order, so min will give you the largest element, because in the descending order first element will be the largest. So min will again give you the first element only. So min will give you the largest element and max will give you the smallest element. Fine. So this is how min and max are working, and they are saying there are two important concepts associated with this min and max. The first one is min and max are saying ki give me the comparison logic, means pass comparator over there. So if you have to apply the min and max, the min and max will always take the comparator as a parameter. Second important thing is it might be possible that there is no min element or there is no max element. So in that case the return type of min is optional. Return type of min and max is optional. So what is optional? I'll share with you. Optional is a class in java.util package, java.util.optional. This optional class has been introduced in JDK 8, and this class says ki, okay, if some result will be there, so that result you can return, and if there is no result, so you can have a null value return. So optional allows you to either return some value or return null. Otherwise before JDK 8 there was nothing called as optional. So if you are writing int over there as the return type, so you will have to always return an int. And if you are writing over there the void, it means you cannot return any integer. So with the introduction of this stream API, this optional class is also introduced, which says, okay, you can write optional. Optional means if value will be there you can return, if there is no value you can return null. So return type optional means it gives you the flexibility, either you can return some value if available, otherwise you can return an empty. So it will create a problem also if you receive some value as an optional, so you will be very careful while using that returned value. So that's why there is a method get. Get method is given here to receive this value, to fetch the value. But if you blindly call this get method and there is a null returned over there, so it will give you some runtime error. Fine. So that's why there is a method to check whether the value is returned or not. The method is present. So first of all you will check whether the value is present or not. If is present will return true, then you can call the get method, and if is present is returning false, then you can simply ignore it because there is no value. Fine. So I'll demonstrate the same thing to you here. So for example, I said ki okay, this is my employee type of stream, and I said okay, I created a stream. I said okay, find out all the employees whose salary is greater than 95. Salary is greater than 95. So if you see here, there is no employee whose salary is greater than 95, right? And then I am saying ki okay, find me the employee having the highest salary. The employee having highest salary, but the cutoff is 95, right? So I am going to say ki okay, give me the max. So first of all, we are filtering all the employees who are having salary greater than 95, and then I am saying max. Okay, leave it. Firstly, what I am saying is ki okay, filter all the employees whose salary is greater than 80, right? So it will give you only one here. Okay, let me make it 98. So now you are having two employees having salary greater than 80. One is 98 and one is 95. So two employees will be there. Then I am saying find out the maximum one. Find out the maximum one. So what I will get here is, I will have to write here max, and here I have to give the sorting logic using the comparator. So I will say okay, I have two objects, let's say A and B. So what is my sorting logic? A dot, you want to sort based on the salary, so you will say A dot salary is greater than B dot salary, then return 1, else return -1. Simple ascending order. So this max will give you the employee. So here you will get the return type employee because we are not mapping right now. And then I am printing n dot name and n dot salary. So I hope you understood. What I am doing here is I am repeating. Filter method is filtering all the employees having salary greater than 80. So you will get two employee here. Then it is going to give you the largest salary wala employee. So I am calling the max method. Here I have to give the comparator. So I am giving the comparison logic. I am saying if A and B are two employees, so I will compare the employees based on salary. So if salary is greater than the salary of B, then I will return 1. It means sorting in the ascending order. So let us try this. So here we have a problem. I have called the max method, so it will return the optional, not stream, right? Min, max, count, reduce and collect, these are the terminal method. So here I am getting optional of employee type, right? So let us compile this. So obviously optional is there, so you cannot traverse it. I will be writing here if op dot str, I will write here op optional object. If op dot is present, I am going to be cautious about this. Op dot is present. So if present is there, so I will be printing op dot name and op dot salary. So I am going to print here op dot name and op dot salary. Fine, cool. I am just checking ki I have got the optional as a return type. It may have a value or it may be empty. So I am just checking whether there is a value. Op dot is present. If value is there, so op is holding some value. So I am saying op, you are an employee object. Let me take your name and salary out. So now I am going to compile this. I'll compile this. Compiled here. It is saying cannot find symbol OP. So what I'll have to do here is op.get. OP is an optional. So from optional we have to fetch the value. So for fetching the value we have to say here op.get, right? op.get. Get method returns the employee object. So I can store in the employee reference emp, right? So simple hai, if op is having some object present over there, so I am saying ki give me the object. So get method, and get method will give me the original object employee, and then I can say emp.name and emp.salary, right? So let us compile this, then run this. So you can see Ajay is the employee with the highest salary 98, right? Now I changed the question. I said ki find out the employees whose salary is less than 50, and give me the maximum salary from all the employee who are having salary less than 50, means 50 से नीचे वाला maximum salary. So that's what I am writing. I am filtering all the employees with salary less than 50, and then I am finding maximum out of those. So you can see here, if 50 is the cutoff, so there is no employee having the salary less than 50. So once you will filter here with e dot salary less than 50, so what is going to happen? The stream will get no object over there, because all the employees are having salary greater than 50. So no result will be there, and you are fetching max out of that. So here you will get the empty result. Here you will get the empty result, and optional will be empty. So here you will not get any value. But if you do not check this thing here, if you ignore it and you directly call the get method, so what will happen? You got a stream empty, and optional will return empty, means null, and you are calling null dot get. So you are going to get something which is a problem. You can see here, compiled, executed, you are getting no such element exception, no value present, optional dot get you are calling, here it is no value present. So this is what the problem is. This problem occurred because you have blindly called the get method, and you know that optional may have some empty value. So that's why do not blindly use the get method of optional, because optional is created because there are chances that there can be some empty result. Fine. So this can be the problem. That's why optional has been created here. Fine. But suppose one more thing. This time I am writing greater than 70. All the employees having salary greater than 70, and you are fetching a maximum. So obviously 98 should be there. But I am changing my sorting logic. I have given here the sorting logic A dot salary is less than B dot salary, means reverse sorting, means we are going to sort in the descending order. So max will give here the smallest value. The reason I have already told you. You are sorting in the descending order, and max is going to pick the last element. So in the descending order, last element will be the smallest one. So you will find here the result is not the maximum, it is smallest. You can see 75. So greater than 70, you have 98, 75, 95, 80, and it is giving me 75, which is minimum value. Fine. So this is your min max method. Similarly, you have a one other method, that is terminal method count. Count method is simply giving you the count of the stream elements. For example, I want to find out okay, how many employees are having salary greater than 70,000 or 70. So I have just called filter e dot salary greater than 70, and now I want to find out the count. So I will be simply writing the method count, and this will give you the count of all such employees who are having salary greater than 70. The count method always returns an integer value. So I am writing here int c, and then you can print c here. So this is how you are printing the count. Count is very easy. It will give you the total number of objects present in the stream, but it is giving you the long value. Return type of count is long, so you have to write it here long. So count of employees is 4. So here again I am repeating, the return type of count is long, not int. That's why we had to write here long. So this is the I think we have done terminal methods for each method. Then we have done the min method, max method, and count method. Fine. One more method is there, toArray method. Let's say you have done all your processing. Now the result you want to store in the array. If you want to store the result in the array, so there is a direct method given toArray. ToArray method will return the array of object type. This is the catch here. So even if you have employee objects, when you call the ToArray method, so you will get an array of object type, and then if you will traverse, so you will get an object. You have to downcast it into the employee. I will show you that. So let's say I said okay, all the employees who are having salary greater than 70, and I am done with my processing. I want to store the result. So I'll say ToArray. ToArray method I am calling. So ToArray method will give me the array of object type. So I have to store here in the object array reference. So you got ARR as the array of all the employee objects having salary greater than 70. Now I want to print all the details. So what I want to do here is I will apply for each loop, and here I will traverse ARR. So here I have to take reference variable of object type. Why? Because the array is of object type. You cannot take here employee type. I will show you. Fine. And then you will print. You want to print their names and salary. So what you will write here? If you try to write here ob dot name and ob dot salary, just think about this. We know that this array is holding employee objects, but they have been upcasting. Upcasting is done. Employee has been upcasted to object type, and you are traversing here, so you are getting object at every time. In every iteration you will get an object reference. So using the object reference you are trying to call the name and salary. So this is obviously a compilation error, because object class does not have anything called as name and salary. So it will give you compilation error. Fine. Cannot find symbol name and salary. Very common, because there is nothing called as name and salary in the object class. So somebody may ask, okay, why don't we write here employee? So again it will be an error, because ARR is of object type. So here you have to take a reference of object type only. So if you will try to compile this, again you will get an error. Incompatible types, object cannot be converted to employee. Simple. Can we take here employee type of array? No, we cannot take it here employee type of array. Why? Because the return type of toArray method is object type. Fine. If you see here, it is again going to say incompatible types. Object array cannot be converted to employee array. And you know that there is not a possibility of typecasting an array. Array cannot be typecasted. It means this is not possible. So I am rolling it back. Here also object. Can we do something like this? No, we cannot do like this. So you have to write here object type. But now inside this, when I have got this OB, I know OB is holding an employee object. So can I typecast OB into employee? Can I write something like this? Employee X is equal to employee type and OB. Is it allowed? So the answer is yes. Because I know that OB is internally holding the employee object. So I can blindly typecast, downcast it employee type, and then you can store into the employee reference. But if you are not sure, then you have to use the instance of operator. Fine. So now this is the challenge here. Now I can use it. This is perfectly fine. So the only problem with this two arrays that it will give you the array of object types. So every time if you want to access the attributes of your original objects, you have to downcast it. So this is the process. Here we have done the downcasting. So this is your toArray method. I hope you understood toArray method, min method, max method, and how to deal with this object type streams. So that's all for this video. We will be discussing the remaining methods of stream in the next video. Thank you so much.